Mr. Shah, thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. I just wanted your first thoughts on this controversy that's erupted over the last few days. It's ironic that it took despotic Arab countries for the BJP to act and not the voices of its own citizens.
Yeah. What the Indian government did was too little, too late. It was a week before they even opened their mouths and said anything condemning these kind of statements. These kind of statements in a country like Pakistan or Bangladesh or Afghanistan, which we hope to include in Akhand Bharat someday, would result in a death sentence, quite simply, because it would be considered blasphemous. Here, there was not a sound from the top, and absolutely no acknowledgement of the hurt caused to millions of believers. I don't think that there has ever, and I hear this lady who was dismissed from the BJP, she is not a fringe element as they claim. She is the national spokesman. So it's not possible that what she said was not approved from the top. And she says, I've heard so many derogatory remarks about Hindu gods. I would challenge her to show me one video clipping or one recording of a Muslim derogating the Lord Ram or the Lord Krishna. Krishna, in fact, was a butt of jokes even among the Hindus until this whole thin-skinned thing took over. But I don't think there has ever been an incident where a Muslim made such an inflammatory statement about a Hindu deity. It's telling. And I wish that the hate mongers whom the PM seems to follow on Twitter, that he does something to silence them, because only his voice is going to do it.
The Prime Minister's voice?
The Prime Minister's voice. I think that this is the time when he needs to step in if he really wants to stop this poison from spreading. And why do we have to ask for our rights? And why must we be divided into these sections? Why can't we speak of all of us as Indians? Aurangzeb is evoked all the time, as if he was the mortal enemy. And destroying his tomb, okay, go ahead and destroy it. It's not going to make any difference. The next you want to destroy the Taj Mahal, go ahead and destroy that. Go ahead and knock down the Red Fort and the Qutub Minar as well. Okay, that's all right. How many people have spoken up in defense of Rana Ayub when she gets death threats and rape threats and obscene photographs and so on? It's a pity that these death threats are coming, and they're coming mostly from people who empty vessels, who make the most sound. And I don't think she needs to fear. In any case, she's going to be provided with ample security. Not just slaughtering a cow, but on the suspicion of slaughtering a cow, people are lynched, people are killed. Untouchables who are skinning a dead cow are whipped in public. These are not the kind of things that used to happen in India. These are the kind of things that happen in barbaric Islamic countries, not here. What happened to Shah Rukh and the dignity with which he faced it is admirable, because it was nothing but a witch hunt, and for no reason whatsoever. He has kept his mouth shut. All he did was support the Trinamool Congress and applaud Mamata Banerjee's victory. That is all he did. Sonu Sood, instead of being acknowledged for the great work he did during the lockdown, gets raided. Anyone who makes a statement of any kind gets... I don't know if I'm going to be next, but they'll find nothing anyway.
But how do you also feel as an actor when you see your colleagues in the film industry also very openly now, doing projects that are with the government, that are propaganda for the government, with the kind of films that they're making? And I'm going to name Akshay Kumar here, for example, or the Kashmir Files film. And so they're sort of unabashed about that, aren't they?
Yeah, they want to be on the winning side. And it does look like the BJP is going to stay the winning side for a while. It's nothing new. It happened in Germany in Hitler's time. Films were made glorifying him. I've read articles written by some leaders of Indian RSS people about Mussolini, what a great man he was. And I'm sure he was equally worshipped, all these people. Kashmir Files is nothing but an almost fictionalized version of the suffering of the Kashmiri Hindus, and the government is promoting it. Instead of doing something for the Kashmiri Pandits, who were driven out more than 30 years ago, instead of rehabilitating them in some way, instead of making sure of their security, they're making a film for them and saying, you must see this film. So the propaganda is what it is, and there are people willingly participating in it. There will be more and more, I fear, such pseudo-patriotic films. I don't feel marginalized, and I'm certainly not disgruntled, and I certainly am not unhappy in this country. This has been the country I've been brought up in, this is the country I've been taught to love, and this is the country I've been told I belong to, and this is the country I feel I belong to. And I am luckily in a position where I can't be marginalized. You know, senior actors are going to be needed for every project. So I'm still getting work. It's not as if my anti-establishment statements have resulted in me being blacklisted or anything of the sort. I just wish that somehow good sense prevails, but I'm not very optimistic that that will happen very soon. Personally speaking, I don't feel marginalized or left out. And as I've said before innumerable times, never in my life have I been aware of my Muslim identity. I am aware of my Muslim culture. Saying Assalamu alaikum comes more naturally to me than saying Namaste. But both are spoken in our home, because my wife is Hindu. Never ever have I felt held back, nor my father, who was in the government service, nor have either of my brothers. Have we felt held back? And at the moment we still don't, and we know that this hate wave will dissipate someday. It may not happen in my life, but it will dissipate someday.